Hey guys, Chart Stoppers back with another video. In this channel we take a look at different stocks and map out their key support and resistance areas on their chart. It's important to know these areas before buying any stock, and it's also important to know what kind of a trend a stock is in before you buy into it. Support and resistance is one of the most important things you should know about a stock before you either buy or sell. And also, if you're doing any day trading, swing trading, or options, you're definitely going to want to get familiar with support and resistance. Just to let you know, I'm not a financial expert. These videos are for educational purposes only, but I am here to point out key factors on the charts which do impact the price action of a stock. And I also provided a link in the description for Webull. You could use that to start an account and get 2 free stocks. I also provided a link for Robinhood. You could use that to start an account and get 1 free stock. And just to let you know, we will be doing 3 videos per week on 3 different stocks. So if you have a recommendation, leave a comment below and I'll try to get to it. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and have your notification button on so you don't miss out on any new content. Okay, so let's get into the market today. Today is May 17th, 2021, and looking at the S&P, we're down a little bit, 0.39%. The Dow is also down 0.28%, and the NASDAQ is down the most, 0.70%. So, we saw once the market opened, not really much has been going on today. We saw a little bit of a dip right in this area around 11 o'clock. We saw the lows of the day, and we're starting to recover from that, except for the NASDAQ, which is currently lagging behind. So let's get into the stock I wanted to take a look at today. I wanted to do an update on Nano Dimension. I think this is a pretty good chart to take a look at right now, especially in this moment after all this correction has happened the past couple months. And I wanted to take a look at them today. So right now they're currently trading at $6.10. On the day they're down 12 cents, which is the equivalent of 2.01%. On the week, they are actually up this past week 9.42% from their lows. On the month, they are still down 12.02%, and the past 3 months, you saw they are down almost 60% here. Okay, so that's why I wanted to take a look at this, and you could see here the 52-week high on this stock is $17.89, so about $17.90. We hit that on January 26th of this year, earlier this year. And ever since we saw that, we did see a retest of the highs on this date a couple weeks later on February 10th here. But ever since then, the correction happened right around the time it was making all-time highs. And, we've seen a steady decline in this stock's price. And it has just been on this downtrend that seems like it's been lasting forever, If you're holding this stock, watching it go from these all-time highs here to where it's trading at now has been it's basically been a slow bleed. As you could see here, we had the big drop, a little bit of a recovery. You could see here on March 5th, which was what we thought was going to be the worst of the correction. We hit a low that day of $6.50, okay? And then we saw a recovery after that. A lot of people thought the correction was over, myself included. I thought, we wouldn't go back and drop below the lows that we saw on March 5th. I thought that was going to be the worst of this correction, but I was wrong, and a lot of other people were wrong also. But you saw this thing recover from this low of $6.50 here, and we actually recovered back up to around $11.60 here. We saw a nice little run up after their last earnings report. And, we thought we were on the track to get back up to these all-time highs here. But you could see here, we got stopped out on this trend line here. This little down trend line that it's been in, okay? And you saw it get rejected here around the 50-day moving average and the 21-day moving average. So we couldn't break through those moving averages, and then we saw another decline, retesting that low right here of the correction. I thought that was going to be a double bottom here, and then we were going to have another recovery. But, it just didn't work out that way. We saw a little bit of a recovery back up to our 50-day moving average right here. This was on April 27th of 2021. So just a couple weeks ago here, we saw a little bit of a recovery, but it got stopped out again by this 50-day moving average rate in here, and that's going to be acting as resistance going forward. And, after it hit that, we did decline, and we ended up dropping even further past this $6.50 support that we had, and now we have dropped down below that. We also have dropped down below our 200-day moving average on the daily chart, so that is not a good sign either. Okay, so it has, it did break out of this downtrend for, half of the day right here, but quickly there was a sell-off, and we got right back below that downtrend line here. So that's basically following all of our moving averages on our chart, this trend line. So we know that's a good trend line to go by moving forward, because it hasn't been able to break through this. You could see it touched off this once, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7 times here. We've seen it bounce off this trend line and not be able to close above the trend line to close out the day. So this is going to be our resistance moving forward also. We'll be watching this trend line, which, follows our moving averages. So losing our 200-day moving average on the daily chart is not a good thing either. And you could see here, that's also going to act as resistance moving forward. So we're going to be looking at that as we go along here. But another thing I wanted to look at here is this green trend line that I have. I've been moving this along as the stock continues to fall. Right now we're at another support around 550. It looks like it bottomed out there. So I had to move my trend line to intersect with my downtrend line at this support level. So I'm thinking right around this area is when it's up. Whoops, I didn't mean to move that there. I gotta reset that. But I'm thinking, let me just get this set back up. And I'm thinking right here, right around this area is when it's going to make a move finally and either break out to the upside here or continue to follow this downtrend. And I'm thinking if it does not break out here of this downtrend that it's been in for the past couple months, we might be seeing even more downside risk here. So it looks like we have till around the 28th of this month to see this thing either pop out of this downtrend and make a move towards the upside, or we're going to see this thing lose this uptrend line, this green line, and move down even farther to another support level, which is probably going to be, let me check my chart here and see if I could find another support. It looks like, I can't really see one here, maybe around this area. Let's see, let me grab a line and I'll try to map this out real quick here for you guys so you guys could see the, lower support levels. We definitely have support right around here, around $2.90. Let me try to find another support level here. And it looks like maybe we could find something in here. I'm not really seeing anything too much, but maybe right in there, around 354. I really don't see much in here as far as support going forward. So, if it does keep falling, we might see this thing drop down to around this $3.50 level here. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to zoom out and I'm going to switch over to my weekly chart here and take a look at what's been going on there. So you could see on our weekly chart, this confirms our strong downtrend. During all these weeks right here, we have, let's count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We're in our 13th week right now. Okay, 13 weeks of not being able to break out of this downtrend right here. So this is a very strong downtrend we're in, and looking at the weekly chart, that just confirms what we're looking at. 13 weeks of not being able to break above this trend line here and close out a week or even close a day out for that matter. So that's how strong this trend line is going to be and acting as resistance moving forward. And you could see here on the weekly chart, we are currently sitting at our 50-day moving average on the weekly chart. That's exactly where we're trading at right now. So that'll be another thing to watch this week and moving forward is to see if it could hold this 50-day moving average on the weekly chart, because that looks like our last moving average that could possibly hold this stock up, going forward, since we already lost our 200-day moving average on the daily chart. Okay, so this looks like our last stand here. If it breaks below this, we could possibly see these levels down here. Okay, but going forward, I think I'm switching back over to the daily chart now. Going forward, this would probably be a pretty good time to enter this stock if you wanted to get in on this right now. This is a perfect opportunity here, going forward. If it does hold up on that 50-day moving average and it breaks out of this downtrend finally in the next couple days, this is a great time to get in on this stock, because you could see it has potential to reach almost $18 up here at these all-time highs. So I could see this thing breaking out to the upside and then, breaking all the way out and moving up towards around this $11.50 mark where we saw it test earlier this year in March. And I could see it blowing past that also if we could get some momentum behind this stock. They do have a lot of cash on hand, and their last earnings was pretty good. They've acquired a couple companies since their last earnings report, so I'll be curious to see when they do report earnings on May 28th pre-market, what happens after that earnings report, because that should be big for this stock also, because that's right around this time here that it either has to break out of this downtrend or continue to the downside here. So that'll be very interesting to see next week what they do with earnings and what moves this stock can make here, because it does have a lot of potential, and this would be a pretty good swing trade to get in on right now if you were willing to risk, getting in right at this 50-day moving average and, assuring yourself that that's going to hold up, okay? But because we have seen this strong downtrend, we did see 13 weeks. We're on our 13th week of not being able to break above this trend line here. So that's another thing to ask yourself if you're willing to, risk that, possibly for more downside risk, or are you willing, to take that risk to possibly double your money here and move up to around $12. So that's just my ideas on Nano Dimension. I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and have your notifications on so you don't miss any videos in the future. And we will see you next time on Chart Stoppers.